Hello class. In this video, we're going to start our section on decimals. So today we're going to focus on decimal addition using base 10 blocks, and tomorrow we'll focus on decimal subtraction using base 10 blocks. So this is the part that we are now going to eventually start losing remainders and really working out numbers to the very end. So we're just starting that section. We're going to work with some of our base 10 blocks. So before we start the lesson, I want you to pause the video and I want you to write your complete heading down, your first and last name, your date, mathematics, your period number, and of course our lesson assignment name, decimal addition using base 10 blocks. Pause this video now, okay, and write this in your notebooks. Okay, now that we have that, let's just do a quick review for what base 10 blocks are. So we got to remember that the big flat that's the one that has 100 pieces, right? That's our whole number one. Then we have the longs, right? That has 10 pieces, that represents a tenth. And then we have the one single one, which is 100th for ours. Now, when we look at this, right, I know that I don't draw all these boxes out, and I know that neither do you. So just as a direct replica, we draw the flat as just like a regular square. We draw the tenth as a 1, and then we draw 100th as just a dot or a square, whichever you prefer. That is the quicker way, but the concept is the same. You know, that we have the flat has the 10 rows, 10 columns, so it has 100 pieces. The tenth, or the long, has, one column, 10 rows, has 10 pieces. And the 100 just has the one for it, right? So that's just as a refresher. If you need to, you can pause the video and write this in your notebook for future reference. Okay, if not, I know that you guys pretty much do know it as we've been working with it all year. Okay, so let's actually just dive in. How can we add decimals using base 10 blocks? So here we have an example. We have 85 hundredths plus 73 hundredths. Now, this is a small number that we can work with these base 10 blocks. Just as a reference, this is just kind of a conceptual kind of thing. We will be working on other methods of adding and subtracting that would be more beneficial when we have larger numbers. But when we have tiny numbers like this, we can use the base 10 blocks. So for starters with the base 10 blocks is that we have to turn around and build the base 10 blocks. So for starters, if I have 85 hundredths, right? How do I build that? Well, I have 0, 1, so I don't need any flats. I have 8 tenths, so I'm going to need 8 longs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I look here and I have 5 hundredths. Remember, hundredths are the singles. So I'm going to draw 5 of them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Simple. Then because I'm adding, this is only when I'm adding. When I'm subtracting, it's a little bit different. I'm going to also draw out the other number. So I have 73 hundredths. And how do I draw that out? Well, I have 0 ones, so I don't need any flats. Okay, again, if I have digits that are really larger, like if I had 100, 1 in the 100, say 2 in the tens, and 1 in the ones, making 121, just for say, I wouldn't be building it this way. I will be doing another method I'll be showing you next week. But in this case, it's the same. So I have 7 longs, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I have 3 ones. Now I'm just leaving a little bit of space for it because I like to keep my singles with singles, my longs with longs, my flats with flats, right? So I need 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. And the reason why I do this is that now that I have this whole picture, I need to group things to see if they can total up to something else. So I look here and I go, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 singles, right? So I can't regroup this. So I'm just going to write my 8. I have 8 singles, right? For 8 singles. Now, how many ones do I have? Well, I look here and I go, I actually have a lot of these longs. And if I can, I think I might have at least 10, right? Because I have 8 here and I would only need 2 more. So I do have that. So let's regroup this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I take this batch right here, right? Let's double count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 longs. So that is actually going to equal a flat. So I regrouped that there. And then I look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I just have 5 longs. And I have 1 flat, right? Because I did that regrouping. So this is going to then fully equal, well, the flat is 1 whole. The longs are my tenths, so I have 5 of those. And my singles, those are my hundredths, and I have 8 of them. So this actually equals 1 and 58 hundredths. Now, say I didn't want to regroup at that point, and I just wanted to add, I could have, and I would have gotten 1, or here, let me actually write the word or here so I know that I could do that. I knew that I had 8 dots, right? 8 dots. And when I counted, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 15 longs. So knowing that I have 15 longs, I really know that this then becomes 1 flat, and then I have 5 longs. So this would have equaled the same thing of 1 and 58 hundredths. Since that's my final answer, I'm going to circle it. I always like the regrouping first, okay? But you can choose whichever method that you want to do. So pause this video now and put this in your notebooks. Now that we have this in our book, let's look at another example. I'm going to only do it by the ways of the regrouping because I find that that is easier than recalculating and then regrouping. I just wanted to show you that just in case that's the way that you chose to do it. Okay, so here I look and I have 1 and 47 hundredths plus 2 and 25 hundredths. So again, I'm going to start off by writing down the 1 and 47 hundredths. And then I got to draw it out, right? So the 1 is a flat, so I need to draw out 1 flat. The 4 is a tenth, and I have 4 of them, so I have 4 longs. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then I have 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I just recount 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 ones, which is 7 hundredths. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 longs, which is 4 tenths. And then 1 flat, which gives me that 1 whole. So that's one drawing. And because I'm adding, I could do it this way by just drawing out the 2 and 25 hundredths, right? So I have 2 and 25 hundredths. Since my whole number is 2, I have 2 flats. Then I have a 2 in my tenths, which means I have 2 longs. And then I have 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice that I'm putting them pretty much all together so it's easier for me to add the pieces. And then I look and I go, oh, I have a whole bunch of ones, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12 of them, so I have more than 10. So I'm going to actually regroup 10 of them. And I'm going to go here and I go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to regroup this, and I'm regrouping this into a long because 10 ones equals 1 long, right? So now I'm only left with these two. And I look here and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 7 long, so there's no regrouping, and only 3 flats, so there's no regrouping there. So now I can say, I was like, all right, I have 3 flats. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 longs. And then I only have these 2 singles. Because remember, I moved 10 of the singles and made that to be 1 long. So now that I have that, well, 3 flats equals 3 whole numbers. Then I have to put my decimal. 7 longs means I have 7 tenths. And 2 singles, so that means I have 2 hundredths. It's a fast kind of concept, and I know that this is my final answer, so I'm going to circle it because this is not a word problem. It doesn't require me to put it in a sentence. But I can say the sum of 1 and 47 hundredths plus 2 and 25 hundredths is 3 and 72 hundredths. So I want you to pause this video now and put this in your notebooks. Now that I have this, I want you to try 2 on your own. So I want you in your notebooks to mark this down as the homework section, show all of your work, and I want you to solve them using base 10 blocks. So you have 1 and 54 hundredths plus 67 hundredths. And then the second one would be 2 and 76 hundredths plus 1 and 37 hundredths. I want you to use the base 10 blocks in your work. You will not get full credit if you do not attempt it with the base 10 blocks. You are more than welcome to check it with any other method that you want to make sure that you have the right answer. That is perfectly fine, but you must use the base 10 blocks. If you need to, pause the video, go back to the problems that we've had here and here, and don't forget you could actually draw them out if you want like this, or you could just use my shorthand that I did here. All right, so you may review the video as many times, but these 2 problems you must solve using base 10 blocks. Okay, pause the video now and complete your homework.